So Donald Trump was arrested again yesterday, the first time for paying sloppy Daniels back in 2016, claiming that was a campaign finance violation, and this time for what amounts to not returning an overdue library book that may not even belong to the library in the first place. This time for supposedly bringing classified documents home from the White House. You know, the same thing that Joe Biden was discovered to have done, but no charges there. Same thing that Mike Pence did as well, but no charges there either. But they want to send Donald Trump to jail for 400 years and give him a fine of $9 million, which is interesting because when Bill Clinton's national security advisor, Sandy Berger, was found to have literally stole classified documents, he shoved them down his pants in order to sneak them out of the secure facility. He was arrested and he was fined $50,000 and given probation and community service. The former head of the CIA, David Petraeus, gave classified information to some bimbo that he was having an affair with. Remember this? And he was arrested and sentenced to 2 years probation and also given a fine. But Donald Trump held on to some letters from some world leaders as mementos of his time in the Oval Office, and all of a sudden it's the end of the world. Please remind us, Obama, how sensitive is the information in most documents that are deemed classified?
What I also know, because I handle a lot of classified information, is that there's classified and then there's classified. There's stuff that is really top secret, and there's stuff that is being presented to the president or the Secretary of State that you might not want on the transom or going out over the wire, but is basically stuff that you could get in open source.
But last October,
basically stuff that's available in open source, meaning it's publicly available information, and often documents are deemed classified not because they contain any sensitive secrets or information, but more of just as a formality. And if you're Hillary Clinton, who's being investigated for sending classified material through an unsecured server and turns out removing the classified markings to try to cover up that crime, and then wiping the server down to further try to cover up the crime and smashing hard drives and cellular devices, then of course you don't get charged with any crimes. Remember this, when she was asked if she wiped the server and she pretended like she didn't understand the question and assumed that he was talking about dusting it?
The official in charge, did you wipe the server?
What, like with a cloth or something? Well, no.
After his arraignment, Donald Trump made a rather lengthy statement, but of course, CNN and MSNBC didn't want their viewers to hear it because they only want one side of the story told.
We knew heading into this that he was planning to make these remarks. We are prepared for his pre-fundraiser remarks tonight to again be essentially a Trump campaign speech. Because of that, we do not intend to carry these remarks live. As we have said before in these circumstances, there is a cost to us as a news organization to knowingly broadcast untrue things. We are here to bring you the news. It hurts our ability to do that if we live broadcast what we fully expect in advance to be a litany of lies and false accusations, no matter who says them. And I do not say this with any glee. I hope it is clear that this is not a glib decision. We take our responsibilities seriously. We revisit decisions like this all the time. We make the best call that we can in real time, every time. But tonight, our call is this. We will monitor that speech by the newly indicted former president. We will not carry his remarks live. If he says anything newsworthy, we promise we will turn that right around and bring it back to you.
It's just a campaign speech, just a fundraiser, not somebody responding to bogus, trumped up, no pun intended, criminal charges.
We're not carrying his remarks live because, frankly, he says a lot of things that are not true and sometimes potentially dangerous.
Well, telling the truth, particularly these days, is dangerous, Jake Tapeworm. But since you won't show what he said, I will.
Today we witness the most evil and heinous abuse of power in the history of our country. Very sad thing to watch. A corrupt sitting president had his top political opponent arrested on fake and fabricated charges of which he and numerous other presidents would be guilty. Right in the middle of a presidential election in which he is losing very badly. This is called election interference. More importantly, it's a political persecution like something straight out of a fascist or a communist nation. This day will go down in infamy, and Joe Biden will forever be remembered as not only the most corrupt president in the history of our country, but perhaps, even more importantly, the president who, together with a band of his closest thugs, misfits, and Marxists, tried to destroy American democracy. But they will fail, and we will win bigger and better than ever before. The Espionage Act has been used to go after traitors and spies. It has nothing to do with a former president legally keeping his own documents. As president, the law that applies to this case is not the Espionage Act, but very simply the Presidential Records Act, which is not even mentioned in this ridiculous 44-page indictment. Under the Presidential Records Act, which is civil, not criminal, I had every right to have these documents.
But not everything is going according to plan. So the Operation Mockingbird assets and the mainstream media are a little confused because most Republicans see this as the witch hunt that it is, including Donald Trump's opponents who are running against him for president in the primary.
Never mind on just the basics of the law, but just if you look at the politics, why wouldn't they be just kicking him as much as they can, metaphorically speaking, because he's in trouble? Like, why wouldn't they be trying to take him down? They're running against him. It really doesn't make a whole lot of sense when you just think about these other candidates, and their goal is supposedly to be the nominee, and they have to beat him.
Well, first of all, any Republican running for president, or any Republican anywhere who sides with the deep state in this case, has zero chance of ever being elected into any office ever again. And second, those of us who haven't been infected with the liberal pathogen have eyes to see that this is obviously a sham. Also, after the arraignment, which took place in Miami because that's where the bogus charges were filed, Donald Trump was seen in good spirits at a Cuban restaurant, which also made CNN even more upset.
The folks in the control room, I don't need to see any more of that. He's trying to turn this in. He's trying to turn it into a spectacle, into a campaign ad. That's enough of that. We've seen it already.
Trying to turn it into a campaign ad, huh? I mean, what's next? Is somebody going to try to turn this into a best-selling t-shirt? Oh, wait, what's this? It's my Wanted for President shirt, which you should order from my online store at markthis.com or click the link in the description below. And through tomorrow, which is the last day, you can save 25% off of that shirt or any of my awesome designs by using the promo code MAGA25 at the checkout. So order your Wanted for President shirt, your Conspiracy Theorists Are Right shirt, an Ultra MAGA shirt, or any of my awesome designs. All available in a t-shirt, long sleeve, and a hoodie, and a whole bunch of different colors as well. So head on over to markdice.com or click the link in the description below. Enter the promo code MAGA25 at the checkout to save 25% off through tomorrow, and check them out.